Hello Libra, I am Ulrich, I'm a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do the financial card reading for the sign of Libra for the month of October 2021. You see the three cards here in front of me. You can also see four objects here, meaning we will do four card readings for the sign of Libra for the month of October 2021. And this video here, all four videos that are following here, are for the sign of Libra. Now, from these four objects, you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards regarding that situation. Of course, you can watch all four videos related to the Libra sign, and after you watched all four videos, you can then decide which object is fitting your personal card reading or financial situation the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Libra, here we go for your financial card reading for October 2021. Hello Libra, and welcome to the shell or the water group for the financial card reading for October 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that on 27 September, Mercury started running retrograde. It's not a good time for signing contracts. Anything you need to put your name under, that you need to officially sign, it's not a good thing to do. Also, you will see during that period, your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to be delivered in your home, they are wrong delivered, the containers is wrong. So in general, this is not a good idea for signing contracts or anything like that. Also, it's not a good idea to buy cell phones or, for instance, laundry machines. Why? These devices are connected to the warranty, and the warranty is connected to the contract, and the problems start. The best thing to do during that period is try to avoid any agreements or any contracts during that period. However, if for some reason you feel compelled, you're obligated, you have no choice but signing a contract, double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract, you cannot anymore. If you want out, you need to pay a big fine, and the circle is starting. So during that period, it's best not to engage in any contract. Anyway, coming back to the card reading here, the first card that we see here is the card of achievement, of accomplishments. It probably means that you have some progress in your life financially, because else this card would not be here. It's through small and simple daily actions that we progress in life, probably work hard. And here this card tells us that you need to appreciate your modest victories. You need to respect yourself, be happy where you come so far. And also you need to be positive about the transformations that have been going on in your life before. Now, also this card asks you to reflect over a few things. It asks you if you have a plan on the long run for improving yourself financially better. Can you make changes? Can you make improvements for your future so that you are financially secure in the long run? So this card asks you to think and make up your mind what need to be changed in your life and what is still working. What do you need to modify? This card asks you. So also, don't be discouraged if you take some wrong decisions in life. It happens sometimes, but it's important here that you think about your accomplishments, what you have achieved so far, and you need to write down also what you have achieved. There are no small or big successes in life. It's an accumulation of all these things in our life. But anyway, this card wants you to secure yourself on the long run. And it wants you to appreciate the progress that you have made in the last months. So if you keep going on like this, you will keep severing. This is, of course, if we see everything in proportions. And actually, the proportions is a nice card for the sign of Libra. It's that we need to see everything in proportions, in balance, because balance is the card of a Libra, or it's the sign of Libra. And here we see with this card that everything in life is relative. We can only estimate the real value of our money if we put it in context to what we earn, or if we know our financial situation. I give an example. For instance, a monthly payment for the loan for somebody's house that is the only person who has a living, and he has a family of 4 or 5 children and his wife. $2 is a very different amount for those people than a person who has, like a couple who works with 2 who have no children. So the financial situation is totally different for them. $2 or €2 can mean the difference that they eat in the evening or they don't eat at all. So here, this is about proportion. The real cost of things, like for instance, for a computer, is not the same for a person who works alone and who has a lot of children, compared to persons or a couple who has only 1 child and who are 2 earners. So here, this card tells you to balance your salary a little bit, be happy with what you have, keep a balanced budget. This is important, keep a balanced budget here. Establish a relationship between your outflow and what you really earn. And here, this card specifically tells you to keep the scales balanced. You need to see the importance also of small disbursements that you have compared to your earnings. So you need to educate and keep up to date yourself what you are spending. So this card also tells us to, if you are unhappy with your balance account, for instance, you make categories of importance for yourself, you calculate your expenses, you put them in categories, and then you make categories what is important for you and what is not important for you, and then you see the categories that are out of proportion. So then you can put this in relation to your salary or your source of income, and if you see these categories and something is out of proportion, well, maybe you need to make some cutbacks in those areas. Anyway, in extreme cases, this card can ask us if we live beyond our means. The last card is the card about publicity. What does this mean? Well, publicity is all around us. We open the TV, we look on the internet, advertisements are everywhere. So we are exposed to hundreds of advertisements today if we go into it, and it's difficult to be insensitive to this bombardment of merchandising information. It's everywhere, and it's easy for some people to get fooled or influenced, and sometimes we lose track. We don't know anymore what is essential and what is luxurious. So sometimes in this current society, we lose direction with all these things that are put in our brain. So here, this card asks you to distance yourself from the pressure of marketing. Maybe you're sensitive for this, because else this card would not be here. So this card tells you, stop going into advertisements you see online, stop reaching for instance, stop reading flyers. Also, if you're into tech gadgets, and don't just pay less attention to tech gadgets, also for beauty things, for ointments, if you have that in your mailbox, just ignore the things. Just think about people who have less prosperous conditions, who have hardly something to eat, and just balance yourself a little bit out here in this in the context of your salaries. This is what we see here. You need to take here, this card tells us to take a critical look at your salary and see what you can save for yourself on the long run, and this will put your whole situation in a new daylight, and you will be able to prosper more, to get more savings, because this is what this lane is about. So Libra, for the water group, this is all for now. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. You can also watch my other videos, the traditional Lenormand card reading, and I'm also grateful that you watch those. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And we see each other in my other videos. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Libra, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air Group for your financial card reading for October 2021. Before we start, I want to mention since 17 September, Mercury is going retrograde, meaning this is not a good time for signing contracts, agreement, everything you need to put your name under that officializes it's not a good thing to do. You will also see that your flight is canceled, your bus is late, you're in traffic jams, mails you need to receive, they get lost or they don't arrive at all. You get consequences of that. This is all because during the period of Mercury retrograde, our brain is running a little bit slower. That is, the brain of all people, the collective brain, is working a little bit slower. So during that period, it's not a good idea to get in engagement contracts of anything whatsoever. It's also not a good idea, for instance, for buying cell phones, laundry machines. Why? These devices are connected to a contract. The contract is connected to the warranty, and you understand if there's a warranty problem, sometimes we overlooked some clauses in the contract. If, however, for some reason you feel obligated, you have no choice by signing a contract, or you want to sign a contract, please double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract, you cannot anymore. If you want out, you need to pay a big fine, and the circle starts. So anyway, my advice to you would be for not signing any contracts at all. So here we go. We start now with the card reading for the Aerosol group for Libra. If I see here in my first observations, this is a card reading about maybe you spoil yourself a little bit, you go into discounts for compensating yourself. Maybe you work hard and you feel that you have the right, and probably you have, for compensating yourself. But these cards here, they ask you questions. I will go in more details here. Here, this is the card about that we recompensate ourselves, we give ourselves an award. What kind of award do we have? Well, we can, of course, can go in superficial buying, things we don't need, or we can go into discounts that maybe not are really discounts. But what this card really is about compensating ourselves in a way that costs few money. What does that mean? Well, for instance, you go for a walk, you come home, you're cold, and you make a glass of warm milk. You drink, you put some honey, and you feel very good. It's very hot where you live. You drink an iced tea with some ice cubes, and you feel like you're in heaven. This is what this is about. This card asks you, you can reward yourself with little treats, with things that don't cost money. So if you reward yourself, don't overdo it, don't buy superficial things, but see what make yourself tick. Give yourself an award that don't cost money. For instance, you read a book, you listen to music, you go to the library, you don't need to pay for the book, you just rent it there for a few weeks. So here this card asks us to reward ourselves with things that cost no money. Music, reading, walking, running, anything that don't cost money. So this is what this card wants you to think about. If you think about it, you will find rewards who encourage you without that they financially cost you or break you. The second card is about these rewards that we offer to ourselves. This is about things we buy and they are superficial. Probably you buy superficial things because else this card would not be here. So this card asks you how much money has gone up in smoke without generating its real value. So this card asks you a few minutes of your time to assess your expenses from the previous weeks, output your bills, your credit cards, your card statements, and just check what are the disbursements that you have, plus the things that you paid cash that you have already forgotten about. This card tells you just calculate all these sums of incidental costs and which of these costs would you been able to avoid? Probably a lot of them. So with this money that you are spent, what was really essential there? Like the majority of the population, we are spending too much on frivolous purchases that we don't actually need. This card asks you to limit your extras. You can accumulate a lot of money, attractive amounts of money, for repaying something that you need, or for saving something for your retirement, or for a trip, or something that is really important for you, or maybe for even for adjusting your house, or for something that you long for a very long time. This is like, this card tells you to re-evaluate the things that you buy and stop buying things that you don't really need, like maybe ointments that you already have a whole closet full, or perfumes, or the next pair of shoes. This card tells you to not do so. It asks you to be financially more healthy. The last card here, it's in relation also to this card. So a lot of people go into discounts, they buy in discounts. These cards are both related to discounts and superstitious buying. So probably this group is a lot in buying in discount, superstitious buying. So probably this group checks out all the liquidations that are available. But the question is, do we really need this? The first thing is already we need to see that the thing that we are buying is really discounted, because some merchants are very smart. They adjust the price and then they put -50, -70%, but actually you pay the real price. That's the first thing here that we need to consider. And the second thing is, don't be overwhelmed and bewitched by sales at all. Keep yourself cool and question yourself. This is what this card tells you. Even though the price seems reasonable, the question is always, do you really need it? Is it essential for you? Will you get more hungry? Will you get more thirsty? Probably not. So this laying tells you to keep to your essentials and save money for the future. Also, some people, they buy in bulk. That's another thing. The thing is, if you buy in bulk, especially if it's food, do you catch yourself at the end of the month that you still have a lot of stocks and you need to give it to your neighbors, your sisters? I'm not mentioning here that you cannot give gifts to your sister. My point is here, if you buy in bulk, you catch yourself giving it away. If you buy something as a gift, that is different. But here, this is about bulk buying. If you buy in bulk, you need to see that you are able to consume it. This is what this card is about, because if you are not able to consume it, it's no use you buy it in bulk, because you need to bring it to recycling, or you throw it away, or you give it away. So here, this card tells you to ignore the offered discounts and liquidations. And if you do so, your wallet will improve, and also you yourself, we will have more peace of mind. Anyway, Libra, for the Air Group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. And please check out the traditional Lenormand card readings also that are on my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time on my channel. And we see each other soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Libra, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth Group for the card reading for October 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting that 27th September up to 18 October, Mercury started running retrograde. This is not a good time for signing contracts, agreements, anything you need to put your name under for officializing it. It's not a good thing to do. You will also see that your train is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to arrive in your home are wrongly delivered, the containers of the package is wrong. These are all things that are happening during Mercury retrograde. It's like the traffic is a little bit upset. Also emails that are not arriving and that have consequences. This is all because our brain, our collective brain, the brain of all people, is working a little bit slower, and this tends to have consequences. Also, it's not a good idea, for instance, for buying cell phones or laundry machines. Why? These devices are connected to a contract. On the contract, there's a warranty, and some problems may pop up there afterwards. Anyway, the general idea here is not to sign any contracts at all during that period. However, if for some reason you are obligated, you feel compelled, you have no choice, or whatever reason, if you're about to sign, double, triple check the fine print, because it's possible after you sign, you change your mind. If you want to get out of the contract, then you cannot anymore because you signed. And if you want really out, you need to pay a big fine, and the ball starts running. So it's best during that time you don't sign any contracts at all. Anyway, this being said, we continue now with the financial reading here. The first card we see here is the card of resilience. Probably you had some less fortunate times before, and it's like you're recovering now from whatever circumstances you were in before. Maybe you were a little bit insecure before, or you had financial difficulties. But this card tells us also not to be passive, and we try to advance and take our own fate in our hands. We need to reflect on our situation, weigh the praise and cons of the actions that happened before, and we need to acknowledge that this was an important lesson probably for us, where we made the best of it, because it seems that we are here on the recovering base. Here, this card tells us also, if you experience this, as many, some people get into financial problems by spending small amounts of money, and these, of course, these accumulate, and sometimes it brings us in certain problems. Anyway, this card tells you to become, and maybe you are now, aware of your weaknesses and turn them into your advantages. So this is not about bad luck. Just focus on what comes for you in the future. And as I see here, you have a good laying here, but you need to learn out of the future, and you need to take it as a lesson, and you are about to bounce back now. The second card is probably that you have made some advancements in your work, or you're about to receive an annual or a monthly bonus. Maybe you have a monthly bonus. Maybe you have achieved some conditions in your work, and this gives you a bonus. And this card is actually, instead of spending our bonus, because many people, if they're about to receive a bonus, mostly the bonuses are already incalculated in the budget, meaning it's already spent before it's arriving. So this card tells you not to do so. This card tells you for saving the money if you can, and leave it on your account for a few months. Put it in a savings account and see, maybe you need it later on in this year, or you save it, or you try to make savings in general. If you still have issues with credit cards from the future, you can use a part of this bonus for balancing out, and you can save the rest. This is also what this card is about. Of course, if you have no debts at all, or if you are balanced, then it's important, this card says, that you save this money. You need to take a break from spending. You need to keep your spendthrift, because the next card is about spendthrift. You need to take it under control. You need to balance it out, and you need to control impulses that you have for spending, because this card is about impulses that we have, and this card tells you to save your money. I'm only the card reader. I'm just reading what is here. The last card here is about the way we spend our money. Some people are very frivolous with spending money. As we know, as the saying goes, boys will be boys and girls just want to have fun. So this is what this card is about. So this card asks you, do you still have outbursts like a younger person, or do you already have your ways of behavior or outbursts of buying unnecessary necessities under control? This card asks you, how aware are you if you're spending money? Normally, as we get older, we get wiser, and we are less easy to spend money. That's the normal circle of life. But some of us are younger, and they get these things, these consumption habits, very fast under control, even if they are very young compared to others. So this card asks you to reflect on your own position, where you are, and how much you want to improve. And if you want to improve yourself more, but especially compare to those around you. So this card asks you also, are you mature with your money, or do you still have outbursts? Remember, we are never too young to be financially mature, and we are never too old to change our financial behavior. If you have the advantage of youth, and in the same time you're financially mature, then this card tells you you will soon be greatly rewarded. If you have the assets of being older and wiser and experienced, use those abilities, this card says, to your advantage. Enjoy life as gifts with moderation, and rewards will follow soon. So, Libra, for the Stone Group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. Please also watch my other videos that you can find on my channel, the Classic Lenormand readings. Thank you for doing so. And we see each other in one of my other videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Libra, and welcome to the matches or the fire group for October 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that started 27 September up to 18 October, Mercury is going retrograde, meaning it's not a good idea for signing contracts during that period. Anything you need to put your name under for officializing, it's not a good thing to do. Also, you will see that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to arrive in your home, they are showing up at the wrong address, the containers is wrong, emails you need to receive are getting lost, your email is not working for certain periods. These are all things that are happening during Mercury retrograde. The reason here for is that our mind, the mind of all people, the collective mind, is working a little bit slower during that period. Also, during that time, it's not a good idea, for instance, for buying cell phones, laundry machines. Why? These devices are connected to a contract. The contract represents a warranty, and you already hear me coming here. Sometimes a problem with the warranty pops up. Anyway, the general idea here is that you try to avoid to sign contracts at all in general. However, if for some reason you are obligated to sign a contract, you have no choice, or you feel compelled to do so, double, triple check the fine print. Because it's possible after you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract and you cannot anymore. And if you want insistently out, you need to pay a big fine. So it's wise during this period not to sign any contracts at all. This being said, we continue now with Libra for the matches or the fire group. And the first card that we see here is the price of our conscious, or the awareness of what are we buying. Does this card wants to tell us? Well, it tells us we need to be aware in the way that we are buying things. This card tells you that you are able to improve your financial situation overall. But the thing is, you are the only one who's in control of that. If you want better days, you need to make these better days happen yourself. You are the main architect of your life. You have the power to change things, or you stay as you are. Of course, there are external elements at play, unforeseen events, I'm aware of that, and this can influence our course of life. But anyway, management here is the big thing here. This makes the big difference. So this card asks you to take some time, reflect, note your impressions, write down what you like about your current condition, what you don't, and make a list of your present and future fears and see how you can improve yourself financially. It's like you need to make a plan of action here for getting financially more, for advancing financially more. So take a step back, take a look, fly in the air like an eagle, look at the bigger perspective, how you can advance yourself financially. Sometimes we get carried away by things around us, and if we spend too much, sometimes afterwards we need to pay the price for it as we spend it. So become aware here, this card says, of your situation. If you are more aware and you spend in a more moderate way, you will improve yourself financially. The second card is actually a little bit connected to the other card, and this is about the satisfaction that we get out after we buy certain things. We live in a world of overconsumption. We are aware of that. And here this card says, in order to improve yourself, you must be aware. Again, happiness does not come with the buying of a fleeting object. Sometimes if we are happy, we feel the urge to buy something and we think this is going to give us a feeling of fulfillment. But when you look back at it, how long does this feeling last? Well, as you know, it don't last too long. Society tells us, and also what we see on TV, to be happy, we need to buy. But the question is, do we really need to? If we follow TV commercials, it's unthinkable that we are fulfilled without being well-dressed, without having the latest shoes, the latest gadgets, the latest car of the year, the latest new cell phone. And where does this lead us? Well, we need to work harder, and for paying everything, we need to even work more. So eventually, this don't bring us the satisfaction that we are looking for, but it brings us more stress. So the multiplication of all these small pleasures, it will not fulfill you, it will bring you in more stress. So this card tells you, pull yourself together, be aware of this, and try to transform yourself and find other way to satisfy yourself, things that bring you lasting happiness. Make some savings, take an annual trip and save your money for that. If you, all those small amounts you spend that you want to spend for immediate satisfaction, if you accumulate all these amounts by the end of the year, that's a very big amount. And with that amount, you can already take a trip. So happiness is relative here. So control your impulses here for buying. This is what this card tells us. The last card is the card about gifts. It's actually also the card of being self-creative a little bit. So here, this card tells us that we like to receive gifts and we like to give gifts. And sometimes during holidays, we do this in excess. But this card tells you, how creative are you yourself? If you buy a gift, you go to the mall, you run around 3 hours in the mall till you find what you're looking for. And was this then really worth your effort? This card tells you, rather than doing this, than shopping for 3 hours, maybe you can create some things yourself. Maybe you can get a different perspective, and you can make, for instance, if you have the time, and I'm sure you have, because else this card would not be here, you prepare some things in jars. For instance, you can put some ointments in there that you make yourself, some soaps. For people, some people will put for instance, sweets in it. You can also put pickles in it or jams, whatever that makes you creative. You can dress them up or present them with fabrics, ribbons, whatever that you think is beautiful, or dress it more up is good. And if you do so, people will have great appreciation for your gift, more than something that you buy. Why? Because you give them the most precious gift at all. And what is that? That is your time. Because time is the most expensive thing that we have in our current society. So if you do that, it will be highly appreciated, and also you will save a lot of money. However, if you are not this type of person, you can still balance yourself. And for instance, if you need to buy a lot of presents for you have a big family, for instance, or a lot of people you need to buy a gift for, you can make a list, a little book, and you write down what you want to spend for each individual. If you do that and you calculate it all up front, you will not be shocked when you come at the cashier, because you know exactly where you're standing before you are paying. This is the card that prevents you to overbuy. This is actually the intention of this card. So you will not get carried away if you already made your addition before, and you also will not be compulsive to shop around. So boost your creativity and save your money. So Libra, for the fire group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. Please check out also the classic Lenormand videos that you can find on my channel. Also, thank you for watching those, and thank you for spending time on my channel, and we see each other soon. Bye-bye for now.